welcome to the Council of Titos, the show on the Laro-Laro channel that talks about a different kind of game. The reality TV game show and social experiment that has run for over 2 decades, Survivor. I'm Chief Bisdak Joel Parcon, and with me, as always, is Juxtapotito Jao Atienza. What's up, Jao? How are you doing? What's with the jacket?
Because the penguin,
The penguin.
that was really cold, man. Like right at the very end, man. That was cold. And also Andy's move, real cold.
Andy's move. So we're attributing it
And
to Andy. Yeah.
and bringing this out because like we have a trip to Tokyo this week.
Oh, that's nice. That's
So
nice.
it's like, cold.
Cold.
Just like a theme, It
It's
was
in
quite
theme.
cold.
At least you're going somewhere cold, man. Here, over here, where I am, it's quite hot. Despite the fact that they said it's gonna be really rainy for the next couple of days. Uh, One thing that I have missed though is that we haven't seen a lot of rain in Survivor in this season at the very least,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Yeah.
Climate change.
Climate change, thou art cruel. Anyway, tonight we will give our thoughts about season 47, episode 8, entitled He's All That. But before we begin, do consider hitting the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so you do get updated whenever we come up with new episodes on this channel. And for those of you who don't want to have to look at our mugs whenever we talk Survivor, just go to wherever you get your podcasts and search Council of Titos. And so, without further ado, let's begin. So, he's all that.
Yeah. Uh, you know, I suppose like I can't commit to the bit too much. Just like how tribal council
Mm-hmm,
on this episode was really hot. Like it's pretty hot here.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I
It
already
is
have
pretty
two
hot.
layers
Adding
because
on
of
a
a shirt.
third that is designed to keep you warm. Uh, yeah, adding a third layer that's designed to keep you warm isn't prudent. So yeah, a
Yeah,
tribal council.
and just like just like the Gata, just like the Gata trio, they got rid of like one layer. I'm pushing it. I'm pushing
Ah,
it.
well, it wasn't necessarily Gata anymore, right?
Yeah.
Uh, there was the trio from Gata. You got Rachel, Sam, and Sierra, but it was everyone else that got them.
Yeah. Well, was it Andy's move? Are we
That's
calling it
actually
Andy's move?
Yeah, that's actually one of the things that's going around, especially in the shout out to the Facebook group that we're a part of, that the official Pinoy Survivor fans Facebook group. There is a poll there asking whom we should attribute the move to. And well, since it is a Filipino Facebook group, uh, uh, most of the votes are going to Andy. Uh, and I think that that's true. I think that despite us not seeing him making the actual convincing, the fact that he started it, that the fact that he was the one who like sort of gave them the thought, especially Caroline. He had that one conversation with Caroline, right, where he was like, I'm switching," and then he gives like a short cheer.
Hmm.
For me, that's what really started it. I mean, uh, for all we knew, the Tuku three were all in on with a sorry, not the Tuku three, the Lavo three. Were all in on joining forces with Gata, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, Tini was close to Sierra. Saul doesn't want Rachel voted out, right?
Yeah.
So there was that. And the fact maybe that they saw that Andy was okay with was thinking of doing something, I think that we can attribute that. And of course, since he is our canonical winner pick, uh,
We
uh
kind of have to. We kind of have
yeah,
to,
we
don't
kind of
we?
have to.
Yeah.
We kind of have to. And also, not just that, not just the fact that he is our canonical winner pick, but we are rooting for an Andy revenge slash redemption tour. So yeah, for me, yeah, it is an Andy move. what do you think?
Of course, I think it's an Andy move. Come on, this is an Andy episode, man. He's all that. That was yeah. Like when I saw that scene, because like usually I watch when I like watch the show, I don't watch it with my wife
Mm-hmm.
for the first time around.
Mm.
Right?
Why
It's
so?
um because my wife is one of those people that really likes spoilers. You know how there's some people that'll
Yeah.
watch like those heavy spoilers, the
Mm-hmm.
heavy spoilers show before watching the actual like show
Mm-hmm.
to get the recap before they watch like the episode or whatever. Like some people just kind of enjoy spoilers a little bit more. I don't know what it is, but she's like she's that type of person. So like the second time I watch it, it's like, oh yeah, Kyle wins the immunity. Like because she always asks me. She's like,
Mm.
"Hey, um, but in this particular instance where they did the she's all that little montage thing,
Mm.
like I had to pause it and call my wife over, like come on, I know you're busy watching whatever it is you're watching, but you have to watch this. Like
Yeah, the yeah.
like that's how you do it on Survivor.
Yeah,
At least in modern Survivor.
in
Well,
modern Survivor.
yeah, they're a little bit more out there with their editing now,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, with all
and
of the slow motion. And I'm sure that the producers actually asked Andy to do all of those things. If not Andy himself suggesting that he would do it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and like apparently they have a apparently like the some of the editors on 47 are like new
Mm,
to CBS, so like I guess you can kind of feel that new blood in a lot of the editing decisions that they've been making in 47. Like we've commented on quite a bit. Like it feels new, it feels fresh.
mm-hmm,
And I think a lot of that has to do with like the new blood that was kind
mm-hmm.
of infused on the sort of rank and file level.
Yeah. Kudos to CBS for bringing new blood in, giving Survivor a much needed boost uh in terms of energy, right? Because that's something that's come out, right? It's become a little bit more energetic. It's become a little bit more young, right? I mean, we're
Hmm.
Titos, but yeah, it's come out a little bit more young, and we enjoy it. Yeah, we enjoy watching the new style of storytelling that they are using for these past couple of seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and
Yes.
our boy Andy gets the benefit of that editing for this episode.
Yeah. And just, you know, just in that sort of vein, um, I suppose this is copium. I think that Andy refusing to find any money for the auction.
So you're one of those who thinks that he refused.
I mean,
That
like,
was a ploy.
um, in in my heart of hearts, no, I think he just didn't do very well when it came to finding those little tubes of money. But you know, the copium Andy canonical winner pick part of my brain is no, he sandbagged it a little bit. You know, it was sort of like throwing a challenge.
Uh-huh.
Um and you know, throwing that challenge for the sake of being safe,
Mm.
like for the sake of like not losing his vote
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
at the upcoming auction, because if it's anything like the previous auction, uh they're going to make it such that whoever has the most money, oh, too bad, sorry for you, like you lost your vote. So at that point, the best move is, hey, let's not find any money. That way, by default, we have the least amount of money for the auction. So he's guaranteed a vote.
He's guaranteed a vote because I mean, the way that the way that at least it was being presented, it was short of comical, right? He'd pass by all of these tubes. At one point in one sequence, he was asked by Genevieve, "You haven't found yet one yet?" No, and then he passes by, and then Genevieve immediately finds one right behind him. It was like it
Yeah,
was a
so
little too comical.
yeah, which is why, right? Like I'm a I'm an Andy was a genius in this whole auction thing truther. Like he didn't is that still a word that people use? Truther?
Truther, not recently.
The last time I heard that was like 2008
Yeah.
when talking about those false claims about Obama. Anyway, um I'm an Andy is low key a genius uh truther when it
Mhm.
comes to his performance at the auction. Yes.
All right. All right. So we're not gonna say that because I don't even think that Andy is getting a Charlie Brown edit. I think that the way it's looking, if you discount the fact that that was a genius move, he is a Charlie Brown basically. He doesn't. They don't have to give him any particular edit. He's just a Charlie Brown. So we're discounting that he's just a low key genius, and because yeah, that has been making the rounds, right?
Yeah.
In interwebs, like, did he get to watch 45 and know that he shouldn't have money? Well, we'll see. We'll see when he does get that exit interview at the end of the season after he's won the $1 billion. Uh, we'll find out if he actually
Yeah.
did it on purpose, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Like, genius move. Genius
Yeah,
move.
genius move. Speaking
It's
of,
kind of
yeah.
oh
Well,
sorry.
anyways, speaking of
It- it-
moves, during that hunt, do you think that Sam actually gave that confessional, that sportscasting confessional during the hunt, or was that something that they recorded afterwards?
they probably recorded it afterwards,
Right?
you know.
It was kind of weird seeing that at that point,
Yeah.
because why would you do that? Right?
Yeah, they probably 'cause, when it comes to like reality shows, right? Like they kind of coach you to speak
In the present
in the
tense.
present tense, right? Like you guys in like your production company um or the production company that our buddy owns that you like did a bit of work for, like they do that in their,
Mm,
like speak in the present tense in case they want to use it as a voiceover or whatever. So like I find it
yeah.
kind of weird, but like it's kind of it's an unnatural sort of way to speak, right? When you're describing something that happened in the past in the present tense. I hear that a lot in American English. Um, but I think it's the influence of reality TV.
It's gotten into the zeitgeist that you can talk about something that happened in the past in the present tense. Mm,
Yeah, like narrating something in the past in the present tense. It's
mm,
something that I hear a lot in American when Americans talk about stuff.
mm,
Like this is what
mm,
happened last week, so I'm in my barn or whatever.
mm.
Like,
True, true, true. Yeah. Yeah, the first thing that comes to mind is like that Ant-Man sequence where one of Ant-Man's one of what Scott Lang's friends was like
yeah,
talking then super fast. Yeah, and it was all in present tense. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. And that yeah, because I found it weird. I found it weird.
yeah. But like sometimes you can hear my brother talk like that. Like
Oh,
he's starting to pick it up.
hmm, okay.
But
So
yeah,
it's an American thing.
yeah.
Uh, yeah. Anyway, you were bringing something up.
Yeah, another one of those sort of like copium kind of things. Giving more credit for what was supposed to be a move or what would be perceived as a move but actually wasn't a move or a completely different move. Um in Tribal, Rachel, like not
Mm.
not not playing her idol but instead playing her shot in the dark.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? Because they're like two sort of competing theories. Um, but it's, yeah, well, technically three competing theories because the two theories are not like mutually exclusive. You can have them both. But the two like leading theories are she played her shot in the dark so that she wouldn't have to write the name of either Sam or Sierra down. That way she can keep her position kind of ambiguous,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
which means she knew exactly where the votes were going to go or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And the other like theory, which is what she intended, which is also a really brilliant move, was she had kind of no idea what was going on. She kind of felt like it was going to be Agatha that night. And so
Mm-hmm.
she played her shot in the dark to gauge everybody's reaction.
Because you could see after Jeff read her parchment, she wasn't looking at Jeff. She was looking at everyone else.
Yeah.
She was playing
And
poker, basically.
yeah, and like if people looked happy, then
Mm-hmm.
she would have played her idol. And like that was her move, but there was also the attribution of she did this as a sort of a social strategic thing so that she wouldn't have to write the names of either Sam or Sierra down.
Mm-hmm.
Um those two don't those two things don't have to be like mutually exclusive, you know. She could have intended for all of that,
Mm-hmm.
but she only intended to see whether she should play her idol because she didn't know what was going on. But I also like the she wanted to maintain a good relationship with
Mm-hmm.
whoever was left.
Yeah. She didn't want, because if she had written down whose name they wanted, Gabe, right? They wanted Gabe.
Mm,
The Gata 3 wanted Gabe, and then everyone else was picking either Sam or Sierra. Right. Yeah. So if she had written down Gabe along with the other two, then she would be on the outs. She would have revealed herself to be really with Sam and Sierra, because for all we knew, she was still a free agent. For all they knew, she was still a free agent,
yeah.
right?
And then if she had
Because
written either Sam or Sierra, if she got it wrong,
mhm,
then uh too
Samras,
bad.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because if in the history of it, she also did get blindsided by Sam and Sierra when they voted out
Yeah.
Annika, right? So we
Yeah.
not a lot of people really quite know where she actually positions herself. Well, if we're going to believe next time on, then she might have finally found her tribe, right? Just like how we've been saying Andy has found his tribe
Yeah.
when this merge happened. So yeah. Yeah.
Still pulling for like the Asian tribe, Team Asia.
True, true. Without
Yeah.
Asia, unfortunately.
Yeah, Team Asia without Asia. Hmm.
But yeah, well, we did see. What was that? It was a, was it a sneak peek? I saw on, again, on the Facebook group or wherever it was online. I saw that there was a sneak peek, and Andy and Rachel did have like a sort of heart to heart,
Yeah.
and yeah, Rachel was like, okay, this might really be something that I can work with. It might be something that we can, right? And then they bring in, and then since Saul is also in on it, right? He's been feeling close to Rachel ever since he gave her that the safety without power
Yeah.
advantage. They even had a quick moment right before Rachel snuck her the new advantage into her shirt, right? So yeah, Team Asia, man, Team Asia.
Yeah. Because we don't have Asia Welsh.
Yeah,
We have like Team Asia in the form of Saul's secret army or whatever. What was it called?
this
Saul's
Soul
secret
Secret Army or something.
agents.
Yeah,
Saul's secret alliance. I don't know.
I don't know, but as long as we know that there's a secret somewhere there. Yeah.
Yeah. The SSA.
The SSA. Mm. All right. So yeah, all in all, that first part of it, right before the, and I don't know, I have to give props to Caroline for having one of the most expressive faces on this season, right?
Yeah, yeah, and it really came out during the auction, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Like,
even when she announced the auction, like something fun is happening, your auction's back, yeah, and then she was like, her face just lit up. It was just, yeah, she has, and we've been seeing it, right? Even when she was reacting to how Rome was in the previous episode, Rome was talking about his how he was being bullied and all of that, and you had this
hmm,
face, and then uh when who was it that Tiana was voted out in the previous episode, you had they went to her face right away, and she had this
yeah.
like oh face on her. So she's got a very expressive face, and the
Actually,
producers
like
are seeing it.
Caroline and Sue
Mm.
should have like the expressive face alliance. Like I think Sue might have had a bit of work done,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know,
It's
she
not
looks like,
outside the realm of possibility. Mm.
yeah. She shares some facial features with
Mm-hmm.
my my aunt, who is in her sort of later days as well, shall we say?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and yeah, my aunt has had a little bit of like work done here and there, so um, but we tend to associate people that have gone under the knife for cosmetic reasons to be like not very expressive,
Mm-hmm.
but like Sue is so expressive as well.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, you're right. They are the expressive duo alliance.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, because everyone else, I mean, not a lot. I mean, you can hardly get an expression out of Saul.
And like Kyle, like come on,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
He did one of the biggest things in his life
Mm-hmm.
by turning down any potential Thea prize
Mm-hmm.
by like eating chicken. And that should have been something that would have been like I don't know, shall we say, um, Liz when they announced Liz when Jeff announced the Applebee's reward. Like it should have been that level of like expressiveness, shall
Mm-hmm.
we say? Because this is like this is like what's the name of that movie? Silence? That movie Silence about the Jesuits in Japan
Mm-hmm.
during
Mm-hmm.
when they were forced to like where Christians were forced to like step on the face of the image of Jesus, and it was something that sort of like hurt them deep down inside because of having to give up
Desecrate.
their
Yeah.
faith and all of that sort of thing. Uh, that was kind of the image that I had of
Mm.
like what it would be like, at least on the inside, for Kyle, who's been vegetarian or vegan for like how long was it? Over a
For
decade,
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It
So
should have been
you can just
something just
imagine.
monumental, right?
Yeah.
And the best the most that he had was a mm, like
But I'm now wondering. So Kyle went vegan and then went vegetarian later on because he wanted to have more options in case he did get on Survivor.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily a philosophy thing because for a lot of say vegans or even vegetarians, it's the whole concept of nothing with a face, right? They won't eat anything with a face. So his probably
uh
is a little bit more health, maybe, or I don't know. So it's
Oh.
something that he can easily, like, okay, I can switch from vegan to vegetarian, and then push comes to shove, he's hungry, and what he's got in front of him is a plate with that's half full of buffalo wings, right? And
Mm.
then carrot sticks and celery sticks without any dip, I think. So you got to go for the flavor, right? I don't know. So
Yeah, it was the reason that um because the sort of difference between, if I understand it correctly, and I could be wrong because I'm from a part of the Philippines where we eat nothing but chicken and pork. Like
I'm already in Manila and I still only eat chicken or pork.
like so we have a very thriving pork industry here.
Mm,
Like that's a staple food here, you
yeah.
know. Um what do you call it? Uh but like the if I understand it correctly, the difference between vegan and like vegetarian is that vegetarians are allowed eggs
Mm-hmm.
and like dairy products,
Yeah.
whereas vegans aren't allowed that. So kind of the idea was, what if we have a cheese platter? A vegan wouldn't be able to have
No.
that on like principle. So I guess yeah, the idea of it's something that doesn't have a face.
Mm.
Yeah.
Nothing that comes from an animal, basically.
Yeah, but
Right.
like I
So
guess for
that
Kyle it would be the whole not having a face thing, because like cheese doesn't have a face unless it's, a little sort of cone of brie or something that you put like two grapes and a lemon slice on, right? Like that's when it becomes a face.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I know that vegans are stricter, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Their milk needs to come from it's almond milk. They don't go for cow's milk because again, it came from an animal, right?
Right.
So it can't be something that came from. So cheese wouldn't be something that he would eat, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
and
So he became
vegetarians are,
vegetarian, right?
yeah, so that he can,
Yeah.
in case, eat cheese, right? But then again, again, you're presented. That's the only he spent all of his money for that, right?
Yeah.
And you have a platter half full of chicken wings, buffalo chicken wings. I don't know. I after watching that the first time, I was so tempted to order buffalo wings. I'm so impressionable that way. Dude, every time I watch this TV show on First We Feast, Hot Ones, I end up ordering
Uh,
chicken wings.
so basically what we're saying is, if Applebee's decides to reopen in the Philippines,
Oh,
we
dude.
have somebody that's going to be
Yeah.
there at least twice a year.
Yeah. Yeah. Like on a Thursday after evening or afternoon or even a Friday, just getting my Applebee's on. Uh, so yeah, Applebee's. Yeah, if you could please, so that I can finally taste. What was it? What was Liz's favorite from Applebee's?
It was one of the burgers, right? It was the burger.
Yeah, yeah, the rum burger or something like that.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
like if I remember correctly, Applebee's was around before we moved up to Manila
yeah, yeah.
or something,
In Cebu we've only ever had like Wendy's that didn't last
and
long
and
either.
Fridays, which wasn't great,
Yeah,
but nah.
yeah. So yeah. Anyway, we've been talking about the food and the auction. What did you think about the way that they did the auction this season?
Better than the last time they did it,
Mm.
but eh. I still don't like you know, I still don't like the what do you call it? The mechanic of whoever has the most at the end of the auction
Mm.
kind of loses, right? Like, or loses their vote. Like,
Mhm.
I realized that they tried to kind of remedy that with the whole survivor
Cashback.
cashback or whatever. But like, no, no, I Um, yeah, it's like fixing a problem that wouldn't have been a problem,
Mm,
to kind of begin with, right? It's like it's like uh it's like a lot of local roads
mhm, mm,
in the Philippines, right? Like our national roads are fine.
mhm,
They're, they're more or less they're fine. They don't have too many potholes. Like if there are any potholes that come in, they don't take like months or like years to to fix.
mhm.
But then when it comes to local roads, there's a lot less funding in the local government units. And so sometimes those potholes can take forever to fix. And once they fix the pothole, it comes back again or
Mhm.
whatever whenever it rains quite heavily. But if they had made a better road right at the very beginning, they wouldn't need to waste so much asphalt every time they you know, it's like fixing a problem that shouldn't be there.
Mhm.
It's like a recurring pothole when you could have just made a better road at the beginning.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, yeah, yeah, thank you for like asphalt on the roads, but if you had made a better road from the
Mhm.
beginning, we wouldn't have had that problem to fix.
But then again, this is like the thinking of some, I don't know if you call them conspiracy theorists, but yeah. Uh the government needs those potholes to fix, especially around, leading up to May,
Mm.
leading up to election season. They need those potholes to fix, man. They need to have those problems that they need to address so that they can show something for their work, right? So yeah.
So basically, like Survivor needs to add all of these weird twists or whatever, so that they can be like, "Hey, we're listening to the fans." I didn't ask for the auction in this sort of format where it's like dangerous because you don't know
Mm.
how many more items are left, and you could lose your vote. Oh, dangerous fun. Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't ask for that. But like now that you solved the problem that we had,
Mhm.
you can say that you listened to fans, but you didn't listen in the beginning.
No, here's the thing. One thing to sort of yeah, to ride on to jump on your thought, right? But also another thing that I also have a gripe with the auction. So the first thing is to add on to what you were saying. I think that had they not employed the twist, the whoever has the most money in the end loses their vote twist for this season, it would have already worked because the only reason, one of the reasons why a lot of the castaways would hold on to their money was because they thought that one of the auction items was going to be an advantage, right? That's why they hold on to the money. They don't want to spend it because they're hoping that there's an advantage for auction. But since for this for this iteration of the auction, there was no advantage or not even letters from home that was being auctioned off. Instead, it was, and I praised production for this. They listened to us that way. They hid the advantage. They hid the advantage in one of the items, right?
Yeah.
Without us knowing, without the castaways knowing. So for me, if in the heads of the castaways, if they had seen that happen, where a full slate of items for auction came out and there was no advantage being auctioned off, that would have already solved the idea of them holding on to the money,
Yeah.
because production wants them to spend the money, right? Production wants
Yeah.
us to
Yeah.
spend the money. That's why they're saying spend your money, otherwise you're gonna lose your vote, right? That's why we have these really exorbitant prices for a bowl of chips, right? All of these things, right? So yeah, if they had shown the castaways that you never know where the advantage is, there might be an advantage, there might not be an advantage. So hold on to your money, spend it if you want, wait for a good thing. But yeah, you're right. The whole twist of losing your vote if you have the most money in the end, that 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 there was no more problem actually. If you think about it,
Yeah,
there was no more problem that it needed to solve, right?
yeah. They almost had the perfect auction.
Yeah,
They
almost,
just they just
almost.
overcorrected. They overcorrected.
Yeah, yeah, and it's okay. So that was me adding on to your rant. Now my rant is I actually don't see the point of the castaways given actual dollars
Mm,
to spend on when the castaways themselves don't think of it in terms of its monetary value in the real world,
yeah.
right? That's why you've got $500 burgers. That's why you've got that are like that come from the Survivor kitchen, which for all intents and purposes that isn't really good. Yeah. Right? And
Like the Fijian pizza. Oh my
the
god.
Fijian pizza, yeah. But of course they have to yeah hype it up whenever they're taking, and of course they haven't been eating anything but coconut
Mm,
for the past 13 days or 15 days, right? So anything will taste really good. Anything with seasoning will taste really good to them. Uh, but yeah, for me, it could have been something as simple as say bring back the fire tokens, right? Have them find fire tokens strewn all over camp, and then later on, they can actually sell these fire tokens as merch. These were the fire tokens from season 47. Just like how people are buying buffs, people are buying caps, people are buying all of these merch from Survivor because they are the mark of that season. Have specific not commemorative, but season 47 fire tokens. These were the fire tokens used in the auction, right? And they'd have different monetary values. Instead of because it makes no sense to me that it is their actual dollars, aside from the fact that okay, these are Americans, and then okay, this is like what Kyle said, I have how X number of dollars, this is much more than what I have at home, right? Aside
yeah.
from that, it really has no significance to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, well, when I was thinking about it, right? I was
Mm,
thinking about this, um, like in terms of economics.
mm,
Um, it's the diamond water paradox,
no. Care to explain?
where um where the value where the value of something is based upon the scarcity. So like to somebody that's dying of thirst in the desert, a bottle of water is worth more than a diamond.
Mm-hmm.
So, I was thinking of that. But then like, fire tokens much better, much more elegant.
Yeah,
I think you're absolutely right. Like extremely elegant solution. And I can see the design already, dude. It has bats on it.
it has bats on it.
It
It's
has a
specific.
bat on it,
Oh yeah, it's
right?
specific to the season, right? I mean, and then you sell it. Okay, yeah, we've got these fire tokens, these bat fire tokens, and you sell them for like yeah, for like what, $10, $15 for per coin, per
Yeah.
token. Yeah, that
Just in time for the series finale of Penguin.
yeah, yeah, the bat token, right? Too bad the Harvey Dent character hasn't turned into like a Two Face, but yeah. Well, apparently, spoiler alert, the explosion might have done that.
Oh,
Yeah, because the courthouse did explode, right? I mean, and then
yeah, yeah.
I don't know, one of the new rock stars or heavy spoilers or screen crush. I think one of them pointed it out that the explosion seems to have gotten the left side of Harvey Dent.
Ooh.
So yeah. So that might have also been the origin story of Two Face.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And here I was thinking, okay, so like we should probably have like a spoiler. Well, we've already talked spoilers.
Don't worry, this will have a bumper. This will have a spoiler bumper. Like a couple of our other episodes. Good thing that Agatha's done.
Yeah. I was actually hoping for the like I had the feeling that Vic was gonna die, but I was really hoping for the that fan theory about him being Victor Zaz.
Me too. I was thinking like he was gonna be Victor Saz,
Yeah,
right?
but That would
socially
have been so
awkward, but
cool.
yeah, yeah, that would have been yeah. Who knows? He might not have actually died.
Oh,
Ooh.
oh.
All right. Well, yeah, we never know. But yeah, that would be nice. That would have been nice. Uh, going back to what we're actually here to talk about. How about Caroline devouring those bugs like she liked it and just biting into those fish eyes?
I really, really, really love the fact that we have the gross food challenge.
And
Like that's
yeah,
something that was
that's
good.
another thing. That was another new thing for this auction, right? It wasn't like
Yeah.
it was sort of like earn your way to get the what was the actual thing?
Uh,
What did
cookie was it
Sam
the
win?
cookie? Oh, I don't remember. All I remember is that Sue got the burrito next, but like I
Yeah.
can't remember what the
Anyway, yeah. For
yeah.
those of you watching, please point it out to us. Yeah. But yeah, I like the fact that there was that kind of like mini game in the game in the auction
Mm.
game, right? So yeah. And then you've got Caroline just taking a bite she, with no hesitation whatsoever, right?
Yeah.
No hesitation. Just bit into the fish eyes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's how you do it on Survivor, I guess.
That's how you do it on Survivor.
You know,
She is the official mascot of aside from Andy of season 47.
you know what? There's something that I don't know if I mentioned this on the last season, but Jeff in the last season when they or the last season that they were talking about the auction that they had the auction on the On Fire podcast, he was talking
Mm.
about um one of their crew, right? One of the crew is from the Philippines,
Oh.
right? We get seafarers, right? That's
Hmm.
we're great nurses, teachers, seafarers. Um, so one of the seafarers from the Philippines, and Jeff mentioned that yeah, over the Philippines or something like that, they eat fish eyes. I would like to clarify that we eat fish eyes in stew.
We don't eat them like that.
We don't eat them like a freaking apple, okay?
Yeah. My mom loves it in like stew. Yeah, fish stew. She just loves she always goes for the eyes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just one of those. It's one of those things
Yeah.
where like I really like sucking out the eye of a fish in like a soup or something. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, but
I
anyway.
would just like to clarify that in case anybody was wondering. We aren't quoting Kyle. We don't turn into savages.
Yeah. So yeah, so yeah, we don't eat fish eyes that way. We have them cooked really well. Have a lot of flavor. Moving on. Apparently, so this where did I see this? Apparently, again online, there is such a thing as the Survivor Auction Margarita Curse.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Right.
read about that. I read about that.
So it has happened one, two, three times prior, and then Sierra this time. So it was Jeffra in Cagayan, Jen in Worlds Apart, Kelly Nalbanjan in 45, and then now Sierra in 47. All got the margarita, all got voted off in that same episode.
Hmm. Check it out on Reddit. There
Mm.
was one person that wasn't affected.
Ooh, who's that?
Uh, who is this lady from Survivor One World?
One World.
I
Oh.
don't remember his name.
So yeah, so I think then that when Sierra saw that margarita, she probably should have like counted her hours on the island.
Hmm. Well, it's it's good. It's good that we have these sorts of things because we don't have cars anymore
Yeah.
on Survivors. So, we don't have the car curse. At
Mm-hmm.
least the long tradition of curses in this game continues.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Yeah.
Margarita curse is there. We'll see. We'll see. How 4 out of 5, 80%. That's not bad. And if the Margarita comes out again, will Jeff point it out?
Has he ever pointed out the car curse?
Oh no, I don't think so. I don't think so. Probably in interviews, but probably never on during the game. But I think that the contestants, the castaways, notice it,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So whoever's next is, you know, if ever they have another auction and there's a margarita, they'll be like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
gonna be like it's gonna be like where they kind of force it, you know?
Mm.
Um, what's what's it called? The what's it law? The
I don't know.
something law where uh the number of transistors that can fit on a die doubles every year.
Oh, well, I'm not familiar with that. I was thinking like it becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wait, let me look it up because it's starting to bother me now. This is something that I should have like off the top of my head because it's one of those like tech things.
Mm.
Um, what am I going to search for? Uh, double micro chip year Lee law Moore's law. There we go.
Moore's law. Okay.
Yeah, Moore's law. The observation that the number of transistors in an integrated circuit doubles. Initially, it was every year, but then they kind of modified it to every 2 years. So
Mm,
that
okay.
was like his observation in the 70s. And over time, engineers took it as less of like a law because they started to butt up against the limits of physics.
Mm-hmm.
But like instead of like kind of letting it naturally progress, because it would naturally plateau, they took Moore's law as a target more
Oh, okay.
than
More,
something
yeah.
that happens naturally.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, kind of like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
See, uh what do we call the people that listen to the council of titos? Mga
The
kalaro.
Kalaro. Yeah.
Yeah, this mga kalaro. This is what happens when we don't have Martin on the show. We get on all these weird side tangents.
We get to talk about Penguin. We get to talk about all of the other stuff that we watch and all of the other stuff that we actually do. We miss you, Marts. We hope that you can join us on the council again in one of these seasons. He's off doing his Martin things.
Yeah, just to like keep us on track.
Yeah.
Focus, focus. Um, yeah, because he's doing his wrestling. He's doing a lot of
Yeah.
wrestling promotion now, which is pretty cool. For
Yeah.
our Tokyo trip, he's like, "Oh, you should attend this particular wrestling like promotion. It looks really cool. It's like wrestling but without a ring. So
What?
like they use the well, it's basically theater now. It's just like
Oh,
people
okay.
fighting,
Mm.
you know. So like yeah,
Oh.
there's no ring. It's like fighting in a hallway or whatever. It's basically like theater where they
Mm.
use this space.
Mm-hmm.
It's experimental theater in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be like you know how some of the productions that we put out back in college, right? Where you had like people, I don't know, acting from the audience. And
Mm. Yeah.
like I remember there was that one play where Marie was like brushing the tables or
Yeah.
whatever and walking through, and we were all like, whoa, whoa, immersive theater. Like yeah, yeah, I suppose that's sort of the thing that they were going for, as
Mm.
opposed to having the proscenium that is the ring in the
The
middle.
ring.
It becomes more about the use of the rest of this space.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And yes,
Speaking,
I do have like a friend who I don't know if he's still active in the Philippine wrestling world. But he does liken. I mean, he's also a theater actor, and that's why he likens wrestling, professional wrestling, to theater. So it's really you're just telling a story basically. So to everyone who still believes that professional wrestling is real, it's theater. It's soap opera. Actually, he likens it to soap opera. They're
yeah.
telling a story. Yes, they are still to an extent athletes because they have to perform all of these different stunts, but they're stunts for the show. Sorry to burst the
Speaking of
bubble of those people.
theater,
Yeah,
speaking of theater, that thing with Jeff was really useless, huh?
which
Where
thing
he
with
did
Jeff?
like
Oh yeah,
the full British accent.
yeah. Oh my god.
Really
Oh.
long intro just for me to say like, dude, that thing was really annoying.
And everything that he brought in, right? Even putting on his best acting skills, and they were all really good, and he really was protecting something inside, right?
Yeah,
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 and then it was so clear that when he came out with the fish guts, with the fish eyes, there was nothing happening, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't know.
I thought you were talking about that one bit after the auction where he was like, "Oh, the castaways are still just leaving," but yeah, join Survivor, yada yada yada.
Uh,
Right?
well, if it's if it's the join Survivor thing, the coolest thing that Jeff did was look right at the camera and say, "This could be you."
Mm.
That was so cool. But no, I was talking about his Shakespeare thing. I'm like Shakespeare in the Park. I'm like, no man. I mean, you know, I don't know.
Well, my I have a question for you though. What I know that Jeff at certain times all throughout the past couple of seasons has been doing a bit about join Survivor or this could be you or whatever.
Mhm.
But did you notice in this episode specifically, there was a lot of hard sell moments. There was a
Yeah.
lot of this could yeah, I mean even with Sue after Sue won the immunity challenge, she was like get off of your couches, blah blah blah. And then there was
Mm.
another one about there was another I forget which one and then there was that bit with Jeff, right?
Mm.
I what do you think are they being encouraged to do all of this to like promote auditioning for Survivor?
Um. Hmm, I don't know. I I hope so.
I
Like
mean,
it could be it could be another, it could be like another part of like Survivor lore.
mm,
You know how like or like Survivor sort of received wisdom,
mm-hmm,
like how you're supposed to absolutely lose your marbles when like they announce Applebee's.
mm,
Like it
okay.
might be a thing that people go into like the island thinking like, yeah, we have to find a way to promote the show, you know?
Yeah, okay, I guess. So I guess that's again another way for the survivor ecosystem to exist, you know.
Yeah.
They just like how they feed all of these podcasts, us included, I guess, but then we help promote the show by talking about it and then people join Survivor. My solution for that, open your auditions to everyone in the world.
Yeah.
That way, Zhao and I can send our audition tapes. I mean, Fiji is so much closer to us here in the Philippines than from them in the US, right?
The one season of Survivor that was done by a Philippine that was a Philippine production
Mm,
was a celebrity season.
mm.
Remember that? Like back when Survivor was in its heyday,
Yeah. Wait, so
there was like a
this was Survivor
Survivor.
Philippines? Or no, no, no. Yeah, you mean
It was Philippine
Philippine Survivor?
Survivor.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Philippine Survivor.
Yeah,
That was a
yeah,
celebrity season. That was
yeah.
like
That was.
the bad seasons of the mole, right? It was a
Mm,
celebrity season. And unfortunately, your Titos here at the Council of Titos aren't big enough celebrities to be considered the D-list
Yeah.
celebrities that end up on like reality shows.
Yeah, but then again, there,
In
especially in,
other
of
words,
course,
please
in
like and
please
subscribe.
like and subscribe so that we become those B-list celebrities. Um, but because Australian Survivor is doing an Australia versus the world season upcoming coming up soon, there has been a little bit of clamor for the winner. I think the winner of Philippine Survivor was Solen Yusuf. And there is a little bit of clamor to have her represent the Philippines in
Ooh,
Survivor Australia. So that's something, right? Because
hmm.
I think that they're getting like all stars from all around the world. I'm
Yeah.
guessing, right? That's why you've got I is what Vlacos going?
Mhm.
He ought
Wait, there
to.
were 4 seasons?
I don't know. I never got to watch it. It was I don't know what time it was on, and the channel that it was on, I hardly ever watched on that channel.
Lord. It looks like they were all like celebrity
Celebrity
seasons.
seasons. I do remember that one of them had like a former PBA player, God rest his soul, uh, who was on it. Just like how Scott Pollard was in, or sorry, Uncle Cliff Robinson was in,
Hmm.
well, in Scott Pollard was on, were on uh, Survivor US.
Yeah, a lot of like former basketball players and
Mm.
like yeah, like actors that appeared as an extra and or whatever that had the supporting role to a supporting role.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Basically, this is another really long like way to say that we aren't to like the D, you know.
Yeah,
So
the
just
lowest tier
subscribe.
of celebrities.
Just subscribe, just
Subscribe,
subscribe.
get
Hit that
our
like
names
button,
out there just in case they actually come up with another Philippine survivor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we might get a call, hopefully. uh, yeah. I don't know if I want my tubby self out there. But yeah, it would be fun. I wouldn't say no to it if
Yeah.
if it ever happens. Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
going back to what we were supposed to be talking about.
So what did you think about what do you think about what happened at tribal council? Because oh wait, well I was thinking like there are only two really big things that we're going to be talking about,
Mm,
right? The tribal council and what went down, and the auction, because those were like the two
yeah,
highlights of the episode.
yeah.
Two highlights of the episode for me. Like the biggest highlight of what happened in um in the auction
Mm,
is is Rachel
yeah.
that is Rachel that witch from Agatha all along, who's living her life out of like order because she was able to like
She predicted the burger.
yeah, she was able to call a burger, and does that mean like that particular witch that's been living her life out of time, she is not long for this world, and by world we mean the
Ooh,
game.
yeah.
See, we're just spoiling everything.
We're just spoiling. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put a bumper also for a spoiler alert for Agatha all along. uh, so yeah. I don't know. Rachel, she's gotten really lucky. She got really lucky in the previous episode, with Saul saving her life, on the island, and then this episode, not only did she call a burger, but she got an advantage. She got an
Yeah.
idol basically, right? So yeah, I mean, she had to work for it. It For me, that was actually kind of nerve wracking. Her trying to get that idol from underneath the tarp, from the tarp,
Yeah.
right? I mean, the way that they edited it, it seemed as if everyone was just there. Everyone was just underneath the tarp, and then she was able to get it out. Right? For all we know, she was like all alone, and then
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but
That
But
was
yeah,
yeah.
that was interesting. That's interesting that she was able to. But does this mean that, yeah, as you said, is she not long for the game? I'm not sure. Not yet. I think not yet. But that'll go. That'll come in our predictions. Yeah, that'll come in our predictions. But for now, my broad stroke is not yet. Not yet. Not until the tower has been overturned.
So
Yeah.
what do you think of that idol? Like
The
the way they hit it and all of that sort of thing.
I like I said, I've always wanted them to go back to the days when they would hide. They've done it twice in this season. They hid an advantage at the reward, the one that Saul found, and
Hmm.
then they hid an advantage in the auction without people knowing that they were bidding for something that would give them an advantage, right? So those are things that I've wanted them to be a little bit more sneaky about it, right? Don't 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 make it a game outright, because
Mm.
if you have them bid for an advantage, that's just you telling everyone, look, this is just a game, right? But
Mm.
with production hiding advantages in plain sight, basically, there for anyone to take, but not necessarily like making it so obvious, right? That for me creates a little bit more tension, creates a little bit more, how do you call that, mastermind fiddling, twiddling fingers. Yeah, that creates a little bit more excitement for me as compared to them actually bidding for an advantage, or uh yeah. And I've seen that, especially in this season. It's become a little harder to get the advantage. We saw that
Mm.
with the box. We saw that with the Sue, and that beware advantage that she got, right? So yeah, they've been doing and with the red paint splashed everywhere, that
Still has her idol, huh?
she still has her idol. And Caroline still has not ratted her out, because Tiana's out. No one else
Yeah.
knows that she got paint all over her, right?
Wow. Totally forgot that she had an idol.
Hmm. Yeah.
Huh.
So she is gonna be
Huh.
and I'm happy for her. She got a win.
Yeah.
She won the
Yeah.
right. So she
Huh.
won in the immunity challenge. Yeah.
Yeah. And like you, I kind of I really like the idea of idols being just there.
Mm.
And like to my mind, one of the high points of the hidden immunity idol being a hidden immunity idol was in Survivor China
Mm.
when
Yeah.
it was
The
like a
the
plaque,
bagua,
right?
the
Yeah.
bagua. Yeah.
Like they should go back to doing more of that sort of thing.
That's
I
why.
don't
That's
know.
why. Who was that? Adam? Was it yeah, was it him who actually in 40 he went for the thing in tribal.
Oh, yeah. I would like to play that.
Right.
Yeah, I would like to play that little decor thing on
Yeah.
your. But yeah,
Was it a fleur de lis? Sort of looked like a fleur de lis. I don't know.
uh, yeah, what's it like the our dreams for Survivor Tika, the one with the one the Jam Jam one,
Mm,
the one with like the really cool like medieval looking voting booth.
yeah.
Like it would have been so cool if the mace was like an idol or something. I would like to play this sword, Jeff.
Yeah. Or they find like a shield that looks like the immunity idol, right? Because it shields you from votes, right? So
What?
or an
Yeah,
armor or a helmet or whatever. Anyway, so yeah, it is fun seeing this, seeing them going back to that, seeing production
yeah,
going back to that, and I hope that it does happen, and it doesn't become more and more obvious, because in previous we have had that conversation. I'm sorry, they have had that conversation on the show, right, where advantages have been viewed as disadvantages,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, so this, them making it less easy for others to know about the advantages, might just give advantages the power back, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's good that like not, you know, not everybody knows
Mm.
about advantages
Yeah.
on this season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So anyway, so you said that was the one highlight from the auction. Let's go to the highlight of tribal. That whole thing with the new way of because Sam didn't have a vote,
Yeah.
right? And that allowed for Sierra to vote again.
Mm.
So she could have totally screwed Sam, but and she actually did vote for Sam, right? We could, because they could only vote for either Sam or Sierra.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Sam could have been totally screwed there. Sierra could have voted. I mean, yeah. And but yeah, Sam was really lucky that the votes were really set for Sierra on that night.
There was a was there ever a three-way tie in tribal?
Oh, this is another reason why we need Martin. He's our survivor historian. Yeah, I don't remember there ever being a three-way tie. There was the idled out one with Siri, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah, but that doesn't quite.
yeah, that's not the same. Because Gabe
Yeah.
got two votes, right? Two or three? Oh no, two,
One.
because
One.
Rachel didn't vote.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
So Gabe only got one vote.
Oh, Gabe, who? Oh yeah, because Sam didn't have a vote. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, if the like Jeff's reasoning is sound.
Mm,
The reason that they don't go in for the revote
mm-hmm,
is they can only vote for each other.
mm-hmm.
But if there's a three-way tie,
I guess that means that they all three would be able to vote.
yeah.
Right?
Uh, I don't know.
And it would create like an endless loop. Let's say they're in the final nine. If in the final, right? And then they have a cluster of three. Each will have a cluster of three. A three, sorry, three A voting for three B voting for three C voting for three A. Right? Would that mean that
Huh.
they'd all go to rocks or something?
They well, if they can't figure it out, they do have to go to rocks. That's
Yeah,
kind of like the rule there, right?
yeah.
So,
I guess that's what
uh,
happens.
oh, who's the yeah, yeah. I really do wonder, Martin. Tell us, was
Tell
there
us,
ever
please.
a three-way tie in Survivor?
Or anyone out there who's watching, you can just go ahead and give us a comment. Uh, well, shout out to, I don't know if that's you. Shout out to that one person who keeps liking the video. Uh, uh, our videos of late have been getting likes. Shout out to that one person. We hope that more of you do give us likes. We're not really in this for like the to monetize the page, but we just enjoy talking about Survivor. But if that happens, well and good. Yeah, and that starts with likes and subscribe. So like and subscribe, guys. Like and subscribe. Uh
There was a three-way tie in Survivor Cagayan.
oh, who?
Bryce, the Bryce boot.
Okay.
The Bryce boot was a three-way tie.
And how did they resolve that? They got someone else to swing the vote? Or was it the plan all along?
Bryce was voted out.
So it was voted out. So they got someone to swap votes.
Hmm.
Mm.
Anyway, so that messes with that, you know. Like like many, I was also under the impression, and I suppose production was also under the impression back in the day, that it's just, if you got the highest number of votes and it's a tie, you just don't get to vote on the revote. But apparently, the logic of Jeff only works for when there are two people. So
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So I figure I suppose the rule should be when there are only exactly two people that are tied, and those two people both have a vote. That is when they can forego, or that's when we tell them that they don't have to vote again. But I don't know. I don't know because if like there's like yeah, three-way tie,
Mm.
the logic of the new era tiebreak rule would mean that, or the new era like tie break revote rule would dictate that all three of them can go back to vote,
Yeah.
which would throw a wrench in the works. Okay, all right, right. That's
Yeah.
Survivor now. All right, cool.
That makes it that can potentially make it interesting, right? Because one of them can always swap vote just so that it won't be them, basically.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And then see how all three of them switch their votes and then end up in a tie again.
All right. Turrox it is.
Yeah. So yeah, that's was there anything other another major item that you wanted to talk about in the sorry in tribal?
Uh, I we already talked about it, but like
Mm-hmm.
Rachel being really cool. Like Rachel's little play with the shot in the dark.
Mm. It's similar to who was that? Matthew, right? From
Yeah.
40, which season was that?
41, 42,
The
40.
yeah,
One of the
Matthew
early
with the
40s.
shoulder. Yeah.
Yeah, the one who almost died.
Yeah. Yeah. It was similar to his play, right?
Yeah. The
But that
question
one was
is,
because he knew where the votes were going. That's why, right? He knew where the votes were going. He did not want to have to vote against that person because he liked that person. So he chose to do his shot in the dark. That was it, right?
I'm not sure actually. I don't quite remember, but that's what it is in my head canon.
Yeah. So that's what it is also
Yeah.
in mine. So that basically is Council of Titos canon. Yeah.
Yes. And Matthew, if that's not what actually happened, just say that it is because like that's much cooler.
Hmm. Exactly.
That's a much cooler story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody mentioned, and I can't remember on which podcast it is, but like, um, does because like the shot in the dark is admittedly kind of useless, right? Or like it
Mm.
is exactly what it is, the shot in the dark. Like it's been 7 seasons and it's only ever hit once, right? So um, does throwing away your shot in the dark or playing your shot in the dark in this way make it better for you in the sense that um the rest of the tribe doesn't have to worry so much about blindsiding you?
I'm sorry. Can you say that again? Does this use of the shot in the dark
Like,
what?
does this getting rid of your shot in the dark make it sort of easier for you because the rest of the tribe isn't so intent on blindsiding you when it's time for when they feel
Mhm.
like it's time for you to go?
They'll just tell you up front because you don't have that release anymore, that potential release. Yeah, I guess. But then again,
Or at the
it
very least, like what's it? Or at the very least, they won't have to be so deliberate about blindsiding. Like it could end up being a little bit sloppier, right? It doesn't have to be like Jesse's steps to a blind side,
mm,
you know?
mm, yeah. Um, my way of thinking is that it's also sort of hmm, yeah, that's true because they have to up their blindside game if you still have the shot in the dark. Huh.
Right? Because that's kind of what Shot in the Dark did. It
Yeah.
incentivized blind sides because people, didn't want somebody to play their shot in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so we got to make sure this person doesn't, play the shot in the dark. They got to feel good, so we need to come up
Mm,
with uh a backup vote or whatever.
mhm,
But like the idea is you got to make them feel comfortable enough that they don't play their shot in the dark. So like, does throwing away like is throwing away quote unquote your shot in the dark a good idea in that way? That's just a sort of discussion question that I would like to throw out into the ether because
mm,
it was something that I kind of latched onto when listening to another one of the podcasts, and I'm not sure if they had a lot of answer to that.
mm. Well, for me, frame of mind, my thinking, my philosophy about that, my school of thinking about that is that, uh, huh, you have your shot in the dark. You force people to be a little bit more sneaky about if they are going to blindside you. Uh, I guess throwing it away or using it as soon as you can. Huh. I would rather keep mine though. For
Hmm,
some reason, I would rather keep mine. Have them have to go through all that work in order to try and get me out,
okay.
right? Rather than, yeah, because
Hmm.
I guess that I would I prefer a sneakier game rather than
All right, yeah.
yeah, rather than like a running roughshod over the other's game, right?
Yeah, like the some of those older seasons of Survivor were kind of rough,
Yeah,
where it was just like the dominant alliance picking
yeah,
off people one by one until the people on the bottom realized that they could talk to the people that were on the bottom of the big alliance.
yeah,
But yeah, for like those early seasons, it was kind of rough
yeah.
to be turtled.
True. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, do we go ahead and move to whose line is it actually?
Yeah,
Yeah.
who was our prediction? It's all right.
Yeah, it was Saul. But the thing is, was it?
For my prediction, my prediction was Saul, right? Because like,
Yeah, 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 because Saul was was your survivor of the week last week.
yep.
Here's the thing: did Andy actually say it?
Let's say it was a silent S.
It's like, yeah, because he did have like a she's all that moment,
Yeah.
right? Took off the glasses, just like and then undid his hair, had like a Pygmalion thing happening. Rachel Lee Cook, she's all that moment.
Well, look at
Uh,
us being all cultured, talking about Pygmalion instead of
yes,
My Fair Lady.
of course, because Pygmalion is the original, and I was on I played Henry Higgins on Pygmalion. Yeah, but yeah,
And
yeah. So yeah, I don't. It wasn't said, right? It was just okay. So they're doing that. So they're doing that. They're doing like uh. It's not necessarily a line
yeah,
in
like
the show.
it's happened before, I think. Like
Mm,
in at least one other time in the new era. I can't remember what it was, but we kind of had that same comment. Where that wasn't exactly said, but it was, quite a big part of
mm.
the episode. Um, although he did say she's all that, so
Yeah, she did. Yeah, he did say that. Yeah. So that's why. Yeah, you're right. It's a silent S.
oh, silent S.
Oh, okay, but okay. So none of us got it. I predicted Genevieve. You predicted Saul. The actual answer is no one said it.
The actual answer is production said it.
Okay, so yeah. On to the next episode's title. On whose line is it actually? Nightmare Fuel. Although this one was preempted. They also did that now. It was on next on.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was telegraphed by Andy.
yeah,
Uh,
which works out quite nicely.
he didn't say the line for this episode, but he actually didn't say the line for next episode. Yeah.
And he's my survivor of the week.
Yeah. But before we go to that, let's go to our new section. It should have been. So, what do you think the title of this episode, well, could have been?
Could have been the Andy line, I'm a
Mhm.
dirty player.
We have the same one.
And second, and I guess second place is something that Kyle would have said. One
Mm,
of the things that Kyle said during the auction. So
mm,
like something like if I'm gonna cave, it might as well be here, or
mm.
um
I thought you were going to say you've made me an animal.
yeah, you made me an animal, like
Mm,
one of those. Um so that was my second. That would
mm.
have been my second pick. But yeah, I'm a dirty player. It's got the right length to
It's
it,
yeah.
and it sounds, since they kind of gave Andy the episode title this week,
Mm-hmm.
like it's the nice Andy line,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As opposed to him getting like the title of one of the episodes being German, uh, in the Rome boot
The
episode.
Rome Boot episode,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm a dirty player. That would have been, yeah, for me. That yeah, that encapsulates what Andy at least tried to do for this episode, or
Yeah.
started to do for this episode. All right. Other predictions. Well, do you have any other predictions for next episode or for the upcoming episodes?
Uh, Not really. I mean, it's just going to continue to be excellent television.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Uh,
Um, you know, I guess the big question is, where are the alliances gonna fall?
yeah, that's right. That's right. Because Sam, if we're gonna believe next on, he's gonna try and sow discord. Right? He's gonna call Andy out on what he did, and then there was also I saw a sneak peek. He started talking to the
Yeah.
Lavo three, right? Talking about how Gabe was very dangerous and all of that. But my prediction is though, just because I want to be consistent on the whole Andy revenge tour, Sam is next. Sam is next
Mm,
for me. He's gonna try and stir the pot, but Andy's gonna call him out on it, and Saul will side with Andy because that's what Saul did with Rome, right? Saul called out
mm,
Rome's stirring the pot, and then since they're on sort of an alliance, the secret soldiers, Saul's secret soldiers alliance. I don't know. Yeah. So for me, that's it. Might be soldiers because it's Saul soldiers. I don't know. Uh,
Spies?
Spies, Saul's secret spies. I don't know. Well, I'll have to watch the episode again. But yeah. Anyway, Sam is next for me. On again. Shout out once again to
Soul secret agents.
secret agents. So it is SSA. Well, that's weird. Could have been soldiers. Soldiers. Anyway, all
Oh, soldiers!
right.
That's what we should call Soul fans. We're soldiers.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm a soldier. Yeah, it's just weird soldier. But yeah, but that's pretty cool. Anyway, on official Pinoy Survivor fans Facebook page, it was shown. I forget. Yeah, I think that it was there that the tribe was gonna again was this time gonna be split into pairs.
Yeah, like what's it, right? Where um at the end is like at the end of it, it's going to be the two,
One on one.
yeah, that are fighting for
Yeah.
immunity. Like, okay, yeah.
Mm. My stretch prediction though, just because they've been introducing a whole lot of new stuff, is that it's going to be a straight up double elimination.
Ooh.
The losing two, they don't even go to tribal. The losing two just walk away. But of course, that's a huge stretch. Because I mean, in other reality shows, they have been doing that. Like, the reality shows that I've been watching in Master Chef, Top Chef,
Yeah,
all of these cooking shows, they have that. They have double eliminations,
yeah.
and yeah. So yeah, that's for me.
And
That's
like with what's it's like with shows like Hell's Kitchen, you don't even have to be at the elimination ceremony to be
yeah.
like eliminated, huh? He just has to tell you to get out of the kitchen during
Yeah,
service.
yeah, right.
True.
So yeah, that's again that's a super stretch. I don't know if Jeff Probst will ever do that, but yeah, the more realistic and more grounded prediction is yes, they are going to duke it out in the end. So it's important that they pick the right partner who can take them to the end, and then someone that they can beat. Ooh, that's like a precursor to the final three. Pick
Hmm.
those that can take you to the end, and you know you can beat in the end for the $1 million. Right?
Okay, so uh let's say that like Andy
Mm,
almost got immunity this week. Or
that would
last
have
week,
been
sorry.
that would have
Almost
been a
got immunity
nice.
last week.
Yeah.
So let's just say that he gets immunity this week.
Yes, to finally cement the redemption tour. Because it's been a revenge tour. It hasn't been a redemption tour
Yeah.
yet.
The beginning of the redemption. It might be like the Witch's Road, just something that we kind of made up.
Mm, yeah. Yeah. We put the hex on Survivor. Yeah. But speaking
Yeah,
of the
Agatha
revenge
all
tour,
along, spoilers. Wait, wait.
yeah.
Um
Uh,
but Kyle though, Kyle.
mm,
Um if Kyle doesn't win immunity, he's got a huge target on him.
super huge target on his back. Unless, oh yeah, no, yeah, it's super huge target on his back. Going back to the pairs, well, they do it that whoever, because they did it this week, where one female and one male won the immunity necklace. Next
Mhm.
week, do you think that they'll, for this coming week, do you think that they'll give two necklaces again? Where people expect for the final two to duke it out, they just straight out give them immunity necklaces, right? Again,
Mhm.
that's a little bit more realistic than my super reach. But yeah, it's still a reach. Yeah, knowing Survivor, they probably won't change the gameplay that much. Yeah.
Yeah, the last time they
But
tried to do something like that with Do or Die,
mm.
the entire fan base was up in arms.
Yeah, but Kyle, if he doesn't win immunity this week, he won't be long. I mean, they are going to try and gun for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, but all else in my canon, and because he's our canonical winner pick, and we're still cheering him on for his revenge tour. I think that his tour continues. So he was the odd man out back in high school or in junior high or whatever, senior high. And so I think that the list started with the cheerleaders with Sierra, and up next is the
The
jock.
jocks. Ah! Woof. All
Right?
right. Slasher flick.
So yeah, for me, Sam is next in the Andy Revenge Tour, and I think that it's gonna happen for the next episode. But like I said, the Redemption Tour isn't quite there yet. He's still Andy. Didn't find money. Just lost immunity. Yeah. So we're waiting for that. So yeah, hopefully he does win immunity this week.
Yep. Because he was so close. It was
He's
so
so close.
close.
Yeah. It was I guess that you can say because he sacrificed not having a vote, because he didn't look for money, he didn't quite get enough energy to win that immunity,
Mhm.
right? Because he didn't get food in him.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
that's the Council of Titos canon. He did it on
Yes.
purpose. He sacrificed immunity for the sake of having a vote.
Yes. This is where we find Andy apologists.
Yes. All right. All right. So let's move on to survivors of the week, starting with castaway of the week. For you, it's Andy.
Andy.
That is of course predicated on the on the head canon or the Council of Titos canon that it was a move for him not to look for or find money.
Yeah, and this was also like to an extent his move.
Mm.
Taking out Sierra was to an extent his move, or at least that's what we were being told by the show,
Mm-hmm.
because they were like foregrounding it with whole she's all that,
Mm.
with the he's all that, she's all that, they're all
Mm.
that sequence,
Mm.
right? So like, you know, he, he's got to be the survivor of the week, at least to somebody that is predisposed to be an Andy stan.
Yeah. Yeah, for me though, my castaway of the week is Kyle. Uh just because number one, for the sheer fact that it was his third immunity win. And the other thing is that he found the joy of eating chicken wings again. So yeah, he won the week for me because he was able to eat chicken wings again. Uh, Good thing it wasn't bat wings. Yeah. Moving on to goat of the week.
Sam,
Mm. Hmm.
being the blindsided one.
True. What Rachel was a couple of episodes ago. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. For me, it started
Well,
when
there's
he.
also
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
oh, well, there's also the person that comes a close second in the person of Gabe,
Mm-hmm.
right? The person of Gabe. If he didn't partake of the chocolate,
Mm-hmm.
he would have been stuck with a
The
coconut.
coconut. At least like Caroline enjoyed the fish eye and the grub, right?
Yeah.
But Gabe, was that even was it even coconut water? I think that they just said Jeff said a coconut filled with cold water and a straw with a straw. So it wasn't even coconut water, I think.
It doesn't have any like protein.
Exactly. Yeah. And he didn't have the presence of mind to, well, because they already eat it at camp. But since it was cold, it might have been tastier. So I don't know. The coconut meat.
And
Yeah.
he's also one of the folks that hasn't gotten a food reward.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Indirectly, he was able to eat all the chocolate.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that was because they felt sorry for him.
Yeah. Yeah. Sierra, one of Sierra's last moves of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, goat of the week goes to Sam. For me, it started at the top of the episode when he underestimated Lavo because
Mhm.
he thought that it was a Gata Tuku war.
Yeah,
Yeah, he thought that the three Lavo were just there to join with him. Right? He
right.
didn't really think, and then in the end, those three were pivotal in getting Sierra out. Right? And the other one that he underestimated, of course, is our boy Andy. Right?
Yeah.
Thought that again, Andy was just there for the ride. Andy was a number, and then Andy was the one who instigated that move against him and Sierra, and he lost his vote out of a badly thought of mechanic in the auction, and lost his number one, like what you said, via a
Mhm.
blindside. Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, purple of the week.
The Gata Tuku War.
Ended before it even began. Just when like Gabe was alluding to war. Yeah. So it was both Gabe and Sam, right? They were the ones who were talking about war, and then Andy like butted in. Not butted in, also contributed. But yeah, right? It was them.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, well, I mentioned this already, but my purple of the week is the the basis for the title. The line for the title wasn't there.
The line is
Yeah.
there.
The line isn't there. Yeah, true. You're right. The basis is there, but the line wasn't there. And my second one is the Redemption Tour. It's not yet there. He is still Charlie Brown. It's not an editing thing. Andy is still Charlie Brown. Yeah.
Yellow tribe. Huh.
Oh, true. He is on the yellow tribe. Uh, but the thing is, he's got a whole head of hair. Uh, anyway, any other things you want to bring up?
Great episode. Great
Mhm.
episode. As always, probably the best season of the new era.
In terms of consistency and yeah, because in previous seasons, I mean, we have that flat first. We still did sort of have that flat first couple of episodes, and then it starts to pick up, and then it plateaus. But this one, it's continuously gone up the
Yeah.
quality of the episodes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. It's getting better and better.
better and better. Hopefully, we don't jinx it. Anyway, if that's it for tonight's episode. We would greatly appreciate it if you hit the like button and subscribe so we don't get voted off the channel. At any rate, this has been Joel Parcon,
I'm Jal.
and we hope to see you on the council again soon. Until then, stay safe, mga kalaro. The Titos have spoken.